Bill, that's such a great point. I've seen on LinkedIn, for example, some companies like Peraton and some friends of ours, Mike Lundrigan and Stu Shea, have been posting whenever employees join the company, they're posting on LinkedIn a welcome aboard. And when you see a note from the CEO or the chief security officer as a welcome aboard, and you're a brand new, right out of college employee or right out of high school employee, gosh, that's got to mean something as much, if not more than a dollar amount.
It does. It instills a sense of pride and a sense of satisfaction and motivation. Motivates employees too.
Yeah, and to Charlie's point, onboarding really starts before the person starts, their first day on the job. It's about making sure that you create a very robust onboarding process and making sure that they feel like they're part of the organization. Having the CEO or your executive leadership be part of their first day and the introductions, they actually be able to connect to what the vision is of the organization firsthand by that time that the CEO will spend with the new hires. We've also found in some of the work that Bill and I have done is assigning buddies to new hires, having them feel part of that organization and really setting up their first week for success into the organization with meets and greets of different employees, involving them in teams and just different projects right at the beginning makes them more productive and billable to the clients. So get them started early. The sooner you do it, the more profitable you'll be as well, and the more engaged the employees are.
Yeah, Pam, I think that's a really good point, because a lot of the work that Charlie and I do has an onboarding employee filling out a stack of forms about this thick.
Yeah.
In a process that involves, back and forth with email and other things before they can even, they might have a contingent offer, but they might be waiting weeks, in some cases months. And it has been longer than that in the past, right? In terms of getting somebody cleared so they can actually enter on duty and come on the job and then become billable. So how do you talked a lot about engagement, and there are lots of good tools out there to get that onboarding timeline down, right? We've seen some of them like Fresh Haystack, quick plug for our product, cut that by 60 or 80%, right? With a workforce reduction of the people to operate that process like 4 to 1. But while the employee is going through that process, how do you keep them engaged if it does become long in the tooth, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely onboarding training, get them to know the organization, have them part of different teams to learn your mission of your organization, have them learn about, your technology, and make sure that some of that downtime is productive time to the organization in the long run. Provide them with the opportunities to be able to share where they can add value to the organization prior to putting them on assignments. Bill, do you have?
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. In terms of the onboarding process, especially when staff are required to have security clearances and it takes time to get those security clearances, a lot of managers are saying, wait a minute, I got somebody who can't be productive because they don't have a security clearance. Well, again, good managers figure out how to make them productive. They use that time during the onboarding process. Who are the key clients they're going to be serving, both internally or externally, and setting up 1-hour meetings with those folks. One of the important things to do in this onboarding process is it's not just a 1 day or a couple of days or a week. It's really a 3-month process. And I went to a company once, a great company. My manager sat down with me, and I literally had every hour of every day booked for the first 4 weeks I was there, with meet and greets, with training, with meetings. And I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to figure anything out. And having that buddy, as Pam said, the buddy programs that we've done at various companies really can go a long way, because oftentimes your staff will know if you've got a new hire, reach out to your staff and say, okay, it's going to be 4 weeks before they get the security clearance, or it's going to be 90 days before they get their security clearance. What projects do we have right now? Too many times managers think they have to know it all. And when in fact, the best managers rely on their staff. Their staff understand what can be done. And so what I do is I say, okay, here's a new hire. We got to get them cleared. We've got a gap between the time they're going to get cleared. How do we keep them busy? How do we get them as productive as we can? And so that's all part of that onboarding process.
That's such a great point, Bill. One of the last companies I was in, the CEO really pushed the welcoming kind of events and a lot of the company functions down to first level supervisor employees, and they excelled at setting up programs and welcome packages and things that Pam talked about that really filled that angst of the first few weeks with a lot of fun activities and really brought them on board. So that really resonates, that having the folks who are going to be the colleagues working side by side with some of these employees, that would just make sense that they're some of the most engaged and the ones that are that the C-suite should be leaning on to make it really work.
And if you get your staff involved, there's a point in time where you need to celebrate their success in getting this employee onboarded and recognizing them. Too often we people are saying, no, I can't do another one. I can't take on a new buddy. But really recognize them, because it's extra work for them, but do it in such a way that keeps them invested in it, and celebrate everybody's success once that employee is onboarded.
And there's little things that you can do. We've done small recognition programs with gift cards or retention bonuses or different spot award bonuses. They don't have to be very significant, but some type of recognition. If you have a town hall or a meeting with your all staff, it's important to recognize those people that contribute to helping onboard staff, and recognize your new employees as well. They want to be known to the organization. Share a little bit of background with them. Where did they come from? What are some of the commonalities? Why did we hire them? I think that's really important to indoctrinating them into the organization and making them feel like they're part of the organization on day one.
Very good